Is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB1063, Ford case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Ford, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Yes, Your Honor. I came here to request to be taken off child support.
All right.
My child is almost 18 right now. I'm still sending cash apps, still taking care of my child, so I'm just confused on how the child is about to be 18. He's in the house with his new fiance, two-parent home right now, well, 2 incomes, and I feel like I just need to be taken off.
All right, so you came to court to ask to be taken off child support because he has a 2-parent income?
And because I do take care of my child.
All right, so what's the legal basis that you're asking to be removed from child support?
What am I paying child support for when I can take care of my own child? My child is just currently living with him because I'm on the road due to my business and entertainment and stuff like that. But as far as cash apps and financial responsibility, I do that without him. My child is almost 18, so I don't feel like I need to go through him for everything.
Okay, I understand. And you say he's almost 18, so he's 17?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What grade is he in?
He's a senior, 12th.
He's 17.
All right, guys, buckle up. Today, we step into a courtroom where silence speaks louder than words. The mother opens with a calm but pointed request. She wants off child support, claiming she's still handling her responsibilities even though the child lives with his father. But don't be fooled by her composure. There's weight behind every word. From the jump, there's a quiet storm brewing. The judge listens, withholding judgment, while the mother subtly frames herself as the unsung hero in a lopsided arrangement. It's an opening that forces you to lean in, because under the surface of this plea lies frustration, sacrifice, and a looming conflict. This isn't just legal talk, it's personal.
But he's a senior?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, gotcha. When does he graduate?
In May.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to him?
No, I just feel like he's a user and I'm taking care of him and his new fiance.
How is he a user?
He's still allowing me to pay child support for a kid that I'm providing full support for.
Right, but you understand you're under a court order to pay child support. That's not necessarily something that he's doing. That's what the court did the first time. You understand that, right?
Yes, but I just feel like he could have denied it or even spoke up and told you guys that I'm taking care of the child financially.
Why would he do that?
Because he don't need my money. I'm taking care of my own child.
Well, let's play devil's advocate a little bit. Would you have done that for him if the roles were reversed?
Yes, ma'am.
You would have opted not to put him on child support.
If he's already provided financial responsibility, exactly, I wouldn't have done that.
I don't believe that.
Okay. I don't know. You know, I see a lot of things when I'm sitting up here, right? So I can't necessarily say you would have done it or you would not have done it, but people in your certain circumstances, I can't say that I've seen them willingly not put the guy on child support when the roles were reversed. So I don't see why that even matters, you know, that you take care of your child, the child lives with him, so you should be paying child support. You'd agree with me, right?
I mean, my child don't have to technically live with him, but you're the judge, so whatever you say.
But he does. I mean, technically, no, he doesn't, but he likes living with his dad, right?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so you wouldn't want to unroot him from living with dad if he likes being over there. No, you agree with me?
I agree.
Okay, all right. So is it okay if I move over to him, or are you done telling me everything you want me to know?
Yes, ma'am. With just one thing, so even if I'm not taking completely off, I do feel like it do need to be decreased, especially with his age. He doesn't need childcare or anything of that nature, so I will be requesting a decrease if it can't be just thrown out the court order.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right.
As we move deeper, the emotional stakes rise. The mother doesn't just claim she's fulfilling her duties, she argues she's going above and beyond. Her son lives with his father, yes, but only because of her demanding work life. That's her truth. But then, the judge throws a hard-hitting curveball. Would she allow the same if the roles were reversed? That question lands like a punch, honest, raw, and impossible to dodge. Suddenly, the mother's calm defense meets judicial reality. This isn't a courtroom built on sympathy. It's ruled by facts. And while the mother stands firm, the judge makes it clear the courtroom doesn't bend for sentiment. This is where emotional truth meets legal scrutiny.
Okay, sir, your son lives with you.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long has he been living with you?
Pretty much all the way up till now, pretty much.
So even as a child from the time this order was entered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And is it true what she's saying, she give extra outside of paying child support?
I mean, she does. I mean, it's a little here, a little bit here and there, but you know.
How much child support are you receiving right now?
It's roughly around, it's probably about 700.
Okay. Who carries health insurance?
I do.
All right. How much is your health insurance?
Between, let's see, it's around roughly about $350.
For your son only, or does that include the both
That's
of you?
with both of us.
Okay. All right. So if we split that in half, it's $175 a person, right? Okay. And your son is 17. He's still in high school. He graduates high school in May. All right. What other expenses does he have? Like, is he involved in anything extracurricular?
Sports, I mean, he plays basketball, track.
Who pays for basketball?
Me.
Who pays for track?
Me as well.
Does mom help out at all with any of those extra expenses?
I mean, no, not really.
Wow.
Well, she says she's seen Cash App and such.
I mean, that's, here and there, It's here and there, it's not, yeah.
But sending extra outside of the $700, that's counts for something, right?
Counts for some, yeah. I mean, but I feel like, he's with me most of the time, so I feel like, that is needed. So, I mean, that's just my opinion.
Okay. What is her visitation like with your son?
She comes, 2 or 3 times a week, or he'll stay with her 3 times a week, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So is that pretty consistent?
Yeah, it's consistent.
Now, the father steps in, and his tone is cool, almost too cool. He claims full custody and lightly acknowledges the mother's extra support. But pay attention here. When the judge presses him about real costs like health insurance and extracurriculars, the answers start feeling fuzzy. He's painting himself as the provider, but the math doesn't seem to hold up. There's a quiet tension rising, like everyone in the room is doing the mental calculations. The judge isn't buying vague numbers, and the viewer can sense that something isn't adding up. This part isn't loud, but it's loaded. The father might be calm, but his grip on the facts is slipping.
All right. So consistently, I'm back over to you.
Thank you.
Consistently, what does your visitation look like?
Anytime that I'm in Dallas, I'm spending time with my child. And he also does not provide any clothing or anything of that nature for him.
He lives with him, so he has to be.
No, ma'am. I drops all that off. I'm a fashion designer and I have my own clothing line. So my child is always provided with clothes and sneakers, everything he needs for basketball, uniforms and stuff. I cover that. When he needs shoes,
He just said he pays for it.
maybe the training, but as far as his equipment and shoes and stuff, my son asks me for the money for that, and I send him the Cash App. I even have the proof. So,
Does she do that?
I'm paying for that stuff. I don't know what she's talking about.
Well, somebody not telling the truth.
ma'am,
I mean,
I have Cash App receipts to show that I send money for uniforms, sneakers, wristbands, anything, movies, any extra activities my son would like to take part in.
We can call him.
well, no, we don't want to call him. He's still a child. We don't want to
Yes.
do that. But somebody is not being honest. If she's saying she's sending you money through Cash App, are you putting in the memo line like what it's for?
No, I'm sending it to my son directly.
Oh, you're
he has
sending it
bank
to the
account.
child
Yes.
directly. So maybe you just don't know that she's doing that.
I guess that's the case because I don't know anything about that.
What are you paying for exactly?
As far as, uniforms, his everyday, food, clothes, everything he has to do
She's
for
saying she
school.
provides all the clothes.
He just buy food sometimes, and I even send cash out for pizza and stuff like that. So I'm paying for pizza for him and his fiance and my son as well.
So you're doing more,
Exactly.
is what you're saying. On average, with Cash App, how much would you say monthly you're sending your son?
$500 minimum. His sneakers is $200 and better, so I'm buying them 2-3 pair of sneakers a month. Actually, it's probably about $600 a month, ma'am, that I'm sending additional to the child support order.
Things take a sharp turn. The mother fires back with a financial bombshell. She's been sending $500 to $600 directly to her son through Cash App every month. That's on top of her court-ordered support. The father acts unaware, but the mother claims she has receipts. This isn't just drama, it's evidence. The tension cuts deeper as the judge begins to see conflicting versions of reality unfold in real time. One parent is presenting paper trails, the other is dodging numbers. It's not about who talks louder. It's about whose story holds up under pressure. At this point, the courtroom becomes a battleground for credibility, not just custody.
Okay. And health insurance, is dad only covering that? That's not anything that you're covering?
No, ma'am.
All right. Under your court order, were you ordered to reimburse him for health insurance?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And sir, do you have other children that reside in the home?
Yeah, I have 2 others.
Okay. Do you have any other children?
No, ma'am.
Here's the deal. Legally, you cannot come off of child support just yet. Reason being is that a child that is the rule is you pay child support for a child up until they turn the age of 18 or until they graduate high school, whichever one happens later. Your son is 17, he's still in high school. He doesn't graduate for another few months. So you will be on child support still until he graduates high school. Do you understand that? That's what the law says, all right? Now, what I do think is very telling is that she is paying more. According to what she said, and you didn't refute it, she is paying more than the $700 that she's giving you monthly. So if all of that is assuming that it's true, because you didn't say whether or not it was true or not, I think she should get somewhat of a break on the child support, the monthly obligation at least. Health insurance was never ordered for you to reimburse it to him. So what I'll do is just keep it like it is, where you just keep maintaining the health insurance, and you didn't file anything to request that anyway, and you didn't file anything requesting any adjustments to the health insurance. So what we'll do is just decrease your child support to $450, because according to your testimony, you're sending roughly about
Now comes the moment of reckoning. The judge delivers her ruling with surgical precision. The mother must remain on child support until the child graduates. That's the law. But then there's a twist. The judge acknowledges the mother's additional efforts and reduces her monthly obligation from $700 to $450. It's not a full win, but it's a symbolic one. The courtroom finally finds its balance, not driven by emotion, but guided by fairness. The judge doesn't bend the rules, but she honors the facts. In that moment, justice walks a tightrope and lands perfectly. The ruling leaves both parties checked, but respected.
$500 anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
On Cash App, so we'll just reduce your child support obligation to $450, and you'll have to pay that through graduation, which is another, 6 months or so?
Yes,
something
ma'am.
like that. I think that's fair. I think that's what's in your son's best interest. According to her, she's doing a lot, and she's giving it directly to your son. And unless you have something in writing that can refute that, then I have to assume what she's saying is true.
I have no clue about the Cash App thing. I mean, there was no conversation. I mean, I don't check his Cash App like that.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't have a conversation with your son about that because it's really kind of inappropriate, you know, for you all to discuss that. But if he's still enrolled in those activities and those activities are still taking place, there has to be some validity to what she's saying if you know that you're not covering that extra. So that's what it'll be. Your child support will be reduced to $450.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm tired of taking care of his other kids as well.
Huh?
I'm tired of taking care of his whole household.
You
his
don't
family.
know what, now see, you were starting on a good track. Don't come in here and backslide, okay?
All right, yes,
You do
ma'am.
not know what go on in his house, and quite frankly, it is none of your business. So is there anything further that you have that pertains to your business?
No, ma'am. That's it. That's it.
Okay, do you have anything further?
I'm just ready for this to be over so I can live happy ever after with my wife and
Well,
my kids.
go ahead and live happy ever after because you all are dismissed.
The decision's made, but the emotional residue lingers. The mother gets in one last jab, accusing the father of depending on her support to maintain his whole household. That triggers a swift response from the judge, who immediately shuts it down as irrelevant. The father, keeping his composure, closes with a peaceful note. He just wants to move on with his new family. No fireworks, just fatigue. The courtroom has resolved the legal battle, but personal wounds remain raw. This final exchange is a quiet reminder. Courtrooms don't settle emotions, they settle facts. The gavel may fall, but the echoes of what was said will linger far beyond the courtroom doors.